We got busy.
Call tonight's council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilors Costello.
Here.
Jameson.
Here.
Knudsen. Here. Litz.
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
Benega.
Here.
Brown.
Here. We have a quorum present. Tonight will be led in the invocation by Assistant Pastor Bill Mitchell from Abiding Savior Free Lutheran Church in Sioux Falls. And after the invocation, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'd ask everyone to please rise.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings that you give to us each and every day. Lord, we would ask that you would provide guidance and wisdom this evening for Mayor Munson and the council. Lord, that they might know that they are following your leadership. Heavenly Father, we thank you for each individual on the council. We'd ask that you would be with them as they make these decisions, important decisions that affect the whole community. Pray, Father, that you would guide them in this. And Lord Jesus, we also pray for our military. We pray for the families of these military men and women who are providing protection for our country. And Lord, we also pray for other state and local leaders. So Lord God, we just ask this evening that you would be here with this meeting and that each one would feel your presence. We ask it in the precious name of Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sandra Parham, there you are, Sandra. Come on up from the Helpline Center here in Sioux Falls. And we have a proclamation on Suicide Prevention Week that we would like to read. Whereas in the United States, one person dies by suicide every 16 minutes, and it is estimated that 6 million people become survivors after the suicide of a loved one in the last 25 years. Whereas the most recent statistics show that in the year 2007, there were 101 deaths by suicide in South Dakota, where suicide is now the 9th leading cause of all deaths and the 2nd leading cause of death among 15 to 34-year-olds in South Dakota. And in 2006, South Dakota ranked 6th in the nation for the highest suicide rate. Whereas the stigma associated with mental illness discourages people at risk for suicide from seeking life-saving help and further traumatizes family members and friends who have lost a loved one to suicide. Whereas the Helpline Center in Sioux Falls received 44% more calls relating to suicide in the first 6 months of 2009 compared to the same period in 2008. Whereas the Helpline Center is the only crisis line in South Dakota accredited by the American Association of Suicidology and is dedicated to reducing the frequency of suicide attempts and deaths and the pain of survivors affected by suicides of loved ones through their suicide prevention, intervention, and aftercare efforts. Whereas it has been acknowledged that suicide is a major health problem and support is needed for educational programs, research projects, and intervention services. Now therefore I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim September 6th through September 12th, 2009 as Suicide Prevention Week in Sioux Falls. Thank Okay, we'll get started. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move Knudsen.
Knudsen moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconds. Further comments, motions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. The consent agenda has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, Litz.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jameson, second. Further motions? I see none, so all in favor of approving the regular agenda will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. The regular agenda has been approved 8-0. Now is the time we set aside for a period of 5 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the council, we just ask that you give your name and then come forward at this time.
My name is Rich Jensen. I'm here to speak to the council about the dance hall ordinances. I've been a resident of Sioux Falls for over 10 years, moved here right after I graduated from college, and I'm happy to say that Sioux Falls is what I consider to be my hometown. I've thought about moving, but that was because of the weather, and I don't think there's anything the council can do about that. And for the most part, I've been quite happy to live downtown, to see downtown become a destination, to see Sioux Falls become a place with a very diverse population. I've been pleased to see all of this. I'm here only because of one problem. For about the last 8 years, both myself, my landlord, other property owners, other tenants in my building have been trying to get the management of the Nordic Hall Dance Hall to take some responsibility for what happens there. And unfortunately, over the past 8 years, the results have been fairly spotty and generally bad. I'm here not as a first resort to talk to the city about changing the ordinances, but because we've tried everything else and it doesn't seem like anything else works. So we're aware that the process is already underway to change the ordinances, and so I'm here primarily to put a face to the issue that's there and to assure you that what we're looking for is something reasonable, something understandable, something that will work for the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Rich, one question, if I could. Your issue isn't with Nordic Hall, it's really, or the management, it's really with the city's ordinance? Is that right?
It's with the fact that there's no way of, say, at 1:30 in the morning, when there's a very disorderly exodus, or during the evening when there's a lot of noise going on outside, there's no way to prevent that as the ordinance is written right now. It is a problem I've seen at the Nordic Hall. I don't know whether it's a problem anywhere else.
Okay.
But
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Others that wish to address the council for a period of 5 minutes?
My name is Rod Schmidt. I reside at 703 South Summit Avenue. I also own the building that Richard Jensen lives in, which is across the street from the Nordic Hall and behind Miller Funeral Home. And I'm here to talk about the dance hall ordinances. Now, the Nordic Hall will be the focal point tonight, but it's not about the Sons of Norway. It's about all dance halls being rented in Sioux Falls. What we're asking for is we'd like to have the City Commission support efforts underway to revise the dance hall ordinances. We need teeth in the ordinance to be able to let the police close down any loud parties that have spilled to the outside of the building or on other people's personal property, and require that all dance halls get a liquor permit and follow the law, not just give lip service. This is how you rent the Nordic Hall. Someone goes in and says, I want to rent it for the event, and they say, great. They sign a contract, and the contract says you must supply security. The people renting it say, yes, we will supply the security. 2 or 3 hours later, after drinking or whatever, the party spills into about a 75-yard circle around the Nordic Hall on my property, Miller Funeral Home, and when you ask the security guard if he could help keep the noise down, he says he's doing all he can. And this is at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's 25 people running around downtown. And I've seen this myself several times. I took it upon myself to phone the chairman of the Nordic Hall board at 2 a.m. the same time as I got my fourth call from the tenants in that building, and I was told that my call was very, very inappropriate. The security guard isn't in charge, nor can help, and the people who rent the apartment can't help. They call it, like I say, inappropriate, so there's diminished responsibility. No one's in charge down there. Here's an interesting fact. My police log stops at the 21st of January of '09, and I'm sure there have been many, many incidents since then, but it goes from January 21st, '09 back to April 18th of '05. That's 189 weekends, and there's 46 police calls. 25% of the time that the dance hall is rented, the police are called. 20 disorderly subjects, 7 assaults, 15 noise disturbances, 2 calls for stab and gunshots. The rest are liquor violations, intoxicated subjects, and narcotics violations. What about the other dance halls in Sioux Falls? The Knights of Columbus doesn't have this record. The Courthouse Museum doesn't have this record. And I'm sure the Holiday Inn doesn't have this record, but here they are, right here. The article in the Argus Leader on January 4th of '07, Richard Lone, then the vice president of the Nordic Hall Association, said that I had been complaining for at least 6 or 7 years, so that means that I've been trying to get something done for at least 10 years. So this is the last resort. We need your help. December 30th of '08, Argus Leader, again, Ordell Krusted, said that his group hires security at all events, but did not want to comment any further. The facts of the incident that night, and I was there after the incident at 2:30 in the morning, a 19-year-old man attacked a man and a woman with a baseball bat. Now, why in the world would there be a party outside at 2:30 in the morning? Where did the 19-year-old who got into trouble get his liquor, and why was the party still going outside? I did talk to the security guard, and he was 19 years old and he was drunk also, some security. You people on this board have done a magnificent job in cleaning up downtown, and I'm not kidding. It is a jewel. Friday night, you couldn't find a parking spot down there. You did it with the help of local small business people and entrepreneurs. We did it. We made it happen. Mayor Munson and the police have done a great job in cleaning up the Pettigrew Heights area. I know because I live there. But we need your help once more. Please take the time to look into this, change the ordinance if it needs changing, put some teeth in it, but we need help. I do know this. It's as plain as the nose on my face that if something isn't done to control these dance halls, someone's going to get killed. It's that bad. Thank you.
Thanks, Rod.
Rod? If you might, I think both you and Rich had alluded to some changes in the dance hall ordinance. Now, who's proposing those changes or who's working on those?
I understand that someone on the council or someone in the lawyer's office is working on them. If they're not, that's what we're trying to get started. Maybe I heard it through the grapevine.
That would be me. I've been working on this for a couple of years. Actually, it started out as event ordinance, and then we started talking about this dance hall ordinance. And if I could share another moment, if we could have Lori and Chief Bartell comment on this also, it might bring a little more light to this.
Lori Hogshead with the City Attorney's Office. Well, interestingly enough, this organization has never applied for a dance hall license. So to add more teeth to it really would not do any good unless they actually applied for it. They've also, in all the time I've done alcohol licensing, which has been a long time, I can remember one time where they applied for a special one-day license. Otherwise, they do not have permits for alcohol licensing at that location.
If I can continue? Lori, in your opinion, what do we need to do to close this loophole up?
Boy, I wish I knew the answer to that. We did meet back in July. There was a group of us, Mike Cooper and Shauna Goldhammer, myself, Chief Barthel, and Keith Allenstein, met with 2 of the board members from the Nordic Hall and addressed the issues with them. And my part of it was I wasn't really dealing so much with the dance hall, because really dance hall is kind of an archaic term, and we really don't have, quote, dance halls anymore. There's establishments that offer dances, so we weren't really focusing on that. We were focusing more on the alcohol portion of it, and I did explain to them the different types of permits that they could apply for, what would be required. The applicants could, first of all, they could never have liquor there because they don't meet the state law requirements. They could have beer and wine, special one-day beer and wine, but only if they're civic, charitable, educational, or fraternal organizations. Or the other situation that we offered to them was to possibly apply for permanent beer and wine licensing and go through the conditional use process. We gave them this information, and then even Shauna and I both told them that we would be willing to come to a board meeting and explain it further to the entire board if that was the case, and we have never heard back.
I can't imagine I'm the only one in the room that's thinking the obvious, but why do we just not stop them from doing that? I mean, don't you have to have a license to sell alcohol, and don't you have to have a dance hall license to have a dance? And it seems like you could easily just enforce the existing laws and cure the problem. Am I missing something?
That sounds like a great question for Chief Barthel.
Well,
I
I'll
guess
tell you what,
Lori
I,
does.
I hear what Rod and Rich are saying. I'll get involved in it personally and get to the bottom of it. There's something that can get done in this deal, so I will
Right.
get to the bottom of it.
Does any other of these private organizations that have buildings do they apply for dance hall permits?
You know what? I issue very few dance hall permits. There's probably only about 12, and we've talked about that the ordinance is really, it was written well before the 50s, and it really doesn't fit the current business scope of today to have a dance hall license per se. If we do continue to use the dance hall license, we do need to completely revamp that, or just consider even not having a dance hall license, because it really doesn't fit the current businesses of today anymore. So primarily we focused on the alcohol licensing.
And I think we did have some type of proposal out there, right? Deborah, do you know where we're at on that? Didn't I send you, on the dance hall proposal?
I haven't seen anything from you on the dance. I know there was a question about that, but I'm not sure I've ever received anything on that. I don't think it's been assigned to a committee yet, but
okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Others that wish to address the council for a period of 5 minutes on any issue? Okay, let's move into item number 14.
Deferred action from August 17, 2009 meeting. Transfer of a 2009 packaged liquor license from Nikki's La Mexicana Incorporated, Nikki's La Mexicana, 1112 East 10th Street, to Nikki's La Mexicana Incorporated, Nikki's La Mexicana, to be operated at 905 East 8th Street.
All right, thank you, Denise. Lori Hogstead again with the City Attorney's Office. This one item was deferred from the August 17th meeting just because there were some questions on what type of a store this individual is going to have, whether it was going to actually be a packaged liquor store. And I know that Councilmember Anderson had a chance to visit with the applicant. She is here this evening, Michelle Rada. So if you'd like, I could have her come forward and explain what her business is going to be. Michelle?
Hi, I'm Michelle Rada, and I'm the owner of Nikki's La Mexicana. We have a wide variety of Hispanic products from Mexico, Central America. We have a lot. It's just a specialized thing that we do have is getting into the liquor. We like to have specialized tequilas, which of course are from Mexico, so they're authentic. But as far as a wide variety, as a liquor store, we don't have a wide variety of stock. You know, getting into like other beers and stuff like that, we don't have a lot. We just have a small area. But as far as our grocery store, we have a grocery store, we have a meat market, we have a bakery, we have a tortilla factory in our new location. We also have a small restaurant area that we're putting in. That's opening soon, Burrito Express. Any other questions?
Questions?
No, I just want to thank you for showing up here tonight, and it was great meeting you and being able to walk through your store. It's going to be a great addition to the east side.
Thank you.
Others that wish to address the council on item number 14? Is there a motion?
Move to approve, Costello.
Costello moves. Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Further comments on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve item 14, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item number 14 has been approved 8-0. Item 15.
Special one-day liquor license request for Hy-Vee Incorporated, all occasions by Hy-Vee, to be operated at the Old Courthouse Museum, 200 West 6th Street, on September 19, 2009, for a wedding reception, canceling the request for August 19, 2009, at the Old Courthouse Museum, approved on 7/2009, and a request to be operated at the Delbridge Museum of Natural History, 805 South Kiwanis Avenue, on October 17, 2009, for a wedding reception.
I can answer questions
Any
on
questions
15
of Lori
if
on
you have
item
any.
15? Anyone else wish to address the council on item number 15?
I move for approval of item number 15, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further comments on that motion? I see none. All in favor? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello? Yes. Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
All members present voted.
Brown?
Yes.
All members present voted 7 yes and 1 excused. Item 15 has been approved. Item 16.
Special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for the Big Sioux Cat Fanciers to be operated at the Baymont Inn, 3200 South Meadow Avenue, on October 31st, 2009, for a banquet.
All right, any questions on that? I can certainly answer.
Others that wish to address the council on item number 16? Is there a motion?
Move to approve, Brown.
Brown moves. Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Further comments on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega? Brown?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 16 is approved, 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 17.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by increasing charges for waiting time by taxi cabs.
Deborah Gaikowski, Transit Planner. This change was brought before you in July of this year. It references the waiting charge. I'd like to change it from 35 cents a minute to 40 cents a minute. Unfortunately, at that time, the ordinance itself did not get changed, so this is to get that finalized.
Questions of Deb on item number 17. Others that wish to address the council on item number 17? Is there a motion by the council?
Move for approval.
Jameson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve? Go ahead.
Yes, several weeks ago, we did fix the prices here in Sioux Falls for taxi cabs, and we left this out. At the time, I voted against fixing the prices just because we shouldn't be in this kind of business. We should let the taxi companies decide for themselves and the consumers decide. So likewise, I will not be supporting this at all because we should get out of this business.
Further comments? Motion been made and seconded. Seeing no further comments, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Council members Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All members present voted 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused. Item 17 has been approved. Item 18.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, providing supplemental appropriations.
Gene Roanhorse, Director of Finance. This is a appropriation that was brought before you a couple of weeks ago. It is for Health Department. There's a total there of $631,000 in the Health Department. There's, from engineering, we have $3 million that's coming through the Sales and Use Tax Fund, and $300,000 that is the developer arterial street plating fees. And then we have funds coming through from TIF District Number 7 of $25,000. And there are representatives from each of the departments if there's any questions that are more specific on this appropriation.
Any questions?
Yeah, Gene, I just have a technical question here about the federal stimulus money. Do we as a council really have to appropriate that since that's federal money?
It's our understanding that we do, and it's certainly it's an abundance of caution.
Okay. Have the feds say that it encouraged us, have city councils do this, or
No,
it's just your own?
We do this with any kind of federal money comes through, and this is just because this is stimulus money. We haven't treated it any different than any other money.
Okay.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 18? Not?
I move for approval of item number 18, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second? Second. Litz seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson, Brown.
Yes.
All members present voted 6 yes, 2 excused. Item 18 has been approved. Item 19.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 3500 West 59th Street from the O Office District to the 57th Street East Plan Development District, petition number 2009-03-26, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. This item is to allow the expansion of Vernite Motor Cars. They have acquired property to the north of their current building site, which was formerly the business called Lady Wellness. And they're looking at expanding their car sales facility as well as display of vehicle parking into this particular location. And this will allow the change in use from office to part of their planned commercial development district. The recommendation by the Planning Commission is to approve this, and this is just under 1 acre in size of the property that they would be expanding into.
Questions of Mike on item number 19? Others that wish to address the council on item 19? Not as a motion.
Move for approval.
Jameson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz second. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of approving 19 will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson, Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present voted 7 yes, 1 excused. Item 19 has been approved. Item 20.
An ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 6701 West 12th Street from the MH Manufactured Home District to the C2 General Commercial District, petition number 2009-07-03, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is located on the south side of West 12th Street, just east of Skunk Creek. The owner petitioner is Bill Hinks. This at one time was part of the Holiday Park Manufactured Housing sale and display area. It is just over 1 acre in size, and it's currently vacant, and it is being requested for rezoning to allow for future commercial uses.
Questions of Mike on item number 20? Others that wish to address the council on item number 20? Is there a motion to approve?
I so move. Knutson?
Knutson moves. Is there a second? Second, Litz. Litz seconded. Further comments on the motion to approve? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 20 has been approved 8-0. Item 21.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 6600 West 12th Street, 616 West 12th Street and 322 South Duluth Avenue from the RA2 Residential District and the O Office District to the Pettigrew Heights Planned Development District, petition number 2009-0707, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a petition by the Volunteers of America to create a new zoning district that will include 3 parcels of land that they currently own and will allow them to redevelop 2 of those properties. This is located on the north side of West 12th Street between Summit and Duluth Avenue. On the very west corner is currently a vacant lot that they are planning to construct a 37-unit apartment building for women with children that they will own and operate. Just to the east of that is an existing office building that they will continue to utilize. And then on the very east side of the rezoning, on the east side of Duluth, is currently an apartment building that will be removed and converted into parking that will serve both the office building as well as the apartment building. And the existing apartment building has been condemned. So this is all part of the Pettigrew Heights neighborhood. We have been working with the VOA for quite some time. They have been working as well with the neighborhood, and there is neighborhood support for this development project. They recently were given some approval by the South Dakota Housing Development Authority for funding to move forward with this project. This zoning will allow that to happen, and the recommendation is for approval.
Questions of Mike on item 21? Others that wish to address the council? Okay, we've got to have a motion.
I need to also ask for an amendment. The title of the ordinance refers to one of the properties as 6600 West 12th Street, and that should be amended to 600 West 12th Street.
We'll get a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Let's
Second, Costello.
Costello seconds. Okay, we got the motion before us to approve. Is there another?
Motion to change the street address to 600 West 12th Street.
Costello moves to amend.
Second, Brown.
Brown seconds the motion to amend. The motion to amend is just drop the 6 and go 600. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
That motion, that amendment has approved 8-0, so we're back to the main motion as amended. So all in favor of the motion to approve as amended will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 21 has been approved 8-0 as amended. Item 22.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2009-03-14 to Chapter 15.45.070, Planned Development Districts at East 18th Street and South Dakota Highway 11, amending the Dolly Farm Village Planned Development District, sub-area regulations. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
The Dolly Farm Village is the location of the new Target store that it's getting very close to opening in early October. It's located on the west side of the new South Dakota 100, and it extends to the north to Arrowhead Parkway and down to 26th Street. This amendment is being requested by the developers to modify the allowed land uses off of the new 18th Street entrance. This is a fairly new aerial photo that we just received actually today that shows how the site is developing. The original zoning that was allowed for this area south of the 18th Street entrance was for office uses. Now with the market changing and with the change in some of the configuration of the entrance roads, the developers have been talking to potential tenants of this property, and there's a desire to have some retail uses allowed on the south side of this major entrance. So the amendment that's being requested tonight would be to change what we call sub-area E from 4.3 to 5.5 acres in size, and to add the allowed uses of commercial in addition to office. The other amendment would be to modify sub-areas B and I, which I think Steve Randall can outline. Subarea B allows office and institutional. We're expanding that by 1.6 acres. Subarea I is a recreation conservation detention area, and that's being reduced by 1.6 acres, and that's based on more up-to-date engineering that has been done for the site development. We did receive some written comments from a few of the Split Rock Heights neighborhood. The developer did have a very extensive neighborhood meeting with a very positive turnout. There is some concern about expanding the commercial development to the south side of 18th Street. But again, I think the developer will tell you that the market has changed since this plan was originally approved. And again, based on looking at that major entrance off of 18th Street, there's going to be additional demand for actually probably more retail than there is office. Some of the uses that they have discussed with us include a bank, a convenience store, and maybe a small strip center would be the extent of the development that would be on that side. The Planning Commission did unanimously recommend approval of this major amendment request.
Questions of Mike on item number 22.
Mike, there's no new entrance off of the highway. It's just all within the frontage road of the whole development?
Yes, the only entrance will be off 18th Street, except for the north side and the south side off 26th Street. This is based on our access management and the design of South Dakota 100 that has a median going through it.
Thank you.
Mike, what were some of the questions from the Split Rock group? What were their concerns as far as adding to this development?
I think just the fact that when the original plan came through that there was discussion that that would be the edge of the commercial uses. And so their question is, why would we change it now? And it sounds like looks like we have somebody ready to talk to you about that as well. I think we heard from 2 or 3 of the neighbors.
Further questions of Mike? Others that wish to address the council on item number 22?
Thanks, Mike. Craig Lloyd Companies, 1005 Tomar Road. As Mike mentioned, we had a neighborhood meeting, I don't know, a month or so ago. We sent out 180 requests for the neighborhood meeting. We had about 85 people show up. It's been the same 3 people that have probably visited this council many, many times over the last couple of years. And, you know, yeah, they have to drive by it every day, and they had to drive by the auto salvage area also. And I think this is a little bit better than the auto salvage area, so I would probably say that times have changed. When we came to the council in 2006, GM was a thriving business. Lehman Brothers was a thriving business. There was 100 retailers that were still in business and making money. And today, the 100 retailers are no longer there. GM went through bankruptcy, and Lehman Brothers no longer exists. So it's a changing time. What we try to do is answer the call of what we think is a demand of some people that want to put businesses here. And we try to address all the neighborhood concerns. And that is, number one, as they come off 18th Street to the east, that what they'd see is exactly what we promised, and that was a corner where a bank could be, and that is still our program today. We've designed a 2-story bank that would go on the corner that has a drive-through, just like 100 other banks in town that we have. We've put the convenience store back on Highland Avenue, and the reason for that is, again, I think Greg mentioned, is there is no access off of Highway 11 other than 18th Street. To get to the convenience store, we have to go through a roundabout and go down Highland Avenue to get to the convenience store. So all the things that we would dream about in a convenience store really faces the east, away from anybody that would be in the Split Rock Heights area. The retail strip is right now a tire store, and that's who we're working with today. Been in business for a long time, do a good job in maintaining their program. We are berming in front of it, so it'd be well landscaped. I don't know how many of the commissioners have been out there, but I think the Opus Group and the Dolly family have done an unbelievable job in landscaping and putting that whole area together. I mean, it looks like an area that is going to be the next wave of retail in Sioux Falls. So we've tried to answer all the questions for the neighborhood. None of the neighbors would be able to see this from their home because there is about a 12 or 13 foot high berm that was negotiated during the construction of Highway 11. We've continually do the great landscaping that we've done already and continue that program. We're asking for your permission so we can continue to negotiate with these companies that want to expand in Sioux Falls.
Questions, Craig, on item number 22. Sure.
Craig, thanks for your patience and flexibility with this project. Some of us have been dealing with this for quite some time, but the other question I have to ask is, because of questions I've received, is that you're going to maintain the height requirements of the facility that's going to be built there as far as the total height that you can construct?
Well, technically speaking, under the ordinance, I believe, unless Mike tells me different, I think I can go to 49 feet, right? Yeah, I'm far below that height.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we're going to be like 23, 24 feet.
Other questions? Thanks. Others that wish to address the council on item number 22? Seeing no one coming forward on item 22.
I move for approval of item number 22, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benninga.
Benninga seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve item 22? If not, all in favor? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 22 has been approved 8-0. Item 23.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2009-06-17 to Chapter 15.45.070, Plan Development Districts at southeast corner of West 69th Street and South Tallgrass Avenue, amending the Bentwood Place Plan Development District sub-area regulations. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is a 190-acre development in the southeast corner of 69th and Tallgrass Avenue. And this is one that the City Council has seen prior to tonight in terms of approving a land use amendment. And tonight is the action on the zoning change. When this development plan was originally approved, the property on the west side of Tallgrass Avenue was proposed for a future industrial development. And as we know, since that time, the Sanford Research Park has come forward and received approval for their long-range development plans. So that caused the developer of this particular area, known as Bentwood Place, to go back and look at their land use plan again. And what we've agreed with them is to modify the plan, which is being reflected tonight with this change before you. Essentially, the amount of single-family development that was originally proposed would be reduced by about 24 acres. And the amount of multifamily would be increased by 16 acres. The amount of office would be increased by 9 acres. Commercial development would be increased by 1 acre. And there would be a 2-acre decrease in the area for detention and drainage ponds. So the net change is a 24-acre amendment either way. And again, this is based on what's being proposed on the west side of Tallgrass Avenue, and it seems to be a more appropriate land use plan given the future development of this area of Sioux Falls.
Questions of Mike on item 23, Greg?
Mike, in the end, do you see if Sanford should start their research facility there Would you see all this residential just completely going away? Maybe the multifamily, but the single family, would that?
No, I think that will stay because the land directly to the east is getting close to the top of the map that we're showing is east, and that's getting over by the Harrisburg School, and that's kind of our transition of going from a higher density of residential closer to Tallgrass Avenue, going back to a lower density that blends in with some of the other neighborhoods.
Okay. Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 23? Not? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Benninga.
Benninga moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconds. Further comments on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Council members Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 23 has been approved 8-0. Item 24.
First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls providing appropriations and the means of financing for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2010.
Gene Rowenhorst, Director of Finance. This is the appropriation of the portion of the budget that is appropriated funds. The total appropriated funds this year in 2010 will be $213 million. The reason that is different from the $337 million that we reviewed with the council in the total review of the 2010 budget is primarily enterprise funds. They're unappropriated funds, and so they don't show up on here. This ordinance also includes an estimated number for the property taxes that will be assessed in Lincoln and Minnehaha County. That number is just under $43 million. And like I say, that is an estimated number until we get the correct numbers from the counties.
Questions of Gene on item number 24? Not. Is there a motion at the hearing date for September 14th for item number 24?
I so move Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconds. Further comments on the motion at the hearing date for September 14th? Go ahead.
Yes, I have a substitute motion to move the date to September 21st.
Substitute motion to move to September 14th to the 21st?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Go ahead. Explain your motion.
Well, the primary reason to do that is because on September 14th, we're going to be very, very, very busy dealing with the resolutions and so forth. And I think that it's good to get those taken care of instead of just trying to push this through in one night to let us have another week to also look at it, too. There's no reason to hurry this.
Further questions on the substitute motion to set the hearing date from September 14th to the 21st? Not. All in favor of that motion, substitute motion, will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilors Costello,
No.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
No.
Litz,
Pass.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
That motion passes. Hearing date is September 21st. Okay, so we've set the hearing date for 24. What of 25?
First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, declaring certain real property of the city surplus and authorizing the disposition thereof.
Good evening, Chad Heavey with the Engineering Division of Public Works. This 1.9-acre parcel is on the west side of Cliff Avenue, just south of Amadon Street. Originally, this parcel was purchased by the South Dakota Department of Transportation in fee title with no reversionary rights. In October of 2008, the DOD conveyed and quitclaimed this parcel to the City of Sioux Falls. In August of 2009, the city vacated this right-of-way at the request of the adjoining property owner to the west. With no reversionary rights, the property is now owned by the city. The appraised value of this property is $49,600 and is zoned industrial. This ordinance will declare this property surplus and allow us to sell the parcel at auction this fall.
Questions of Chad on item 25?
Chad, is this similar? Did we do something like this not that long ago, just a little further north? A small sliver of land?
This is that land that we
This is the same?
vacated. Yeah, it had to go through several steps.
All right. Okay.
Chad, there's a real severe grade change on that, isn't there?
There is.
What value would that property be? And
Well, there's two, I can see two things. One would be, it'd be valued to the adjacent property to the west for parking. And also, I do believe there would be a chance to build some storage units there.
And right now, they are, I was up there this weekend, they are doing some grading up in that whole area right there to the west of it, too. So there are some plans for that property up there.
Further comments? Oh,
I too saw the grading going on. It's been going on for a couple of weeks. They've removed an enormous amount of dirt, or moved an enormous amount of dirt up there. And I guess as an old North Ender, my concern is that monument that's up there. I kind of like that up there, and I know it just sort of goes up there and loops around a little bit. And I guess my concern is as things move in there, and would presumably back up to the hill. Is there? I'd like to maintain that monument, and I know some people think it's kind of useless out there, but I think it's part of Sioux Falls history. The road going up there, I'd like to see preserved as well. And my question to you, Chad, is as things get developed up along there, will there be access off of what I call Old North Drive to some of these newer businesses that could possibly go in there?
Well, access for that parcel, the subject parcel we're going to sell, and to the subject to the west will come off of Amadon. North Drive, however, there is public right-of-way there, and I'm not aware of any plans that would call for the removal of that monument.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Now, is there a motion to set the hearing date for September 21st for item 25?
So move, Anderson.
Anderson moves, second.
Second, Costello.
Costello seconds. Further comments on the motion to set the hearing date for September 21st? Not all in favor to set that hearing date September 21st? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
yes.
Jimson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 25, the hearing date is set September 21st. Item 26.
Public hearing for public input for a resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2010, and the 2010 to 2014 capital program.
Anyone in the audience that wishes to address the public at this time for public input on item number 26, please come forward. We just ask that you give your name. Seeing no one coming forward, we will move on to item 27.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls approving the preliminary plan of Bentwood Village addition. The Planning Commission recommends approval.
This property is similar to item 23 that we heard tonight. Again, we're modifying the layout of the Bentwood Village addition based on the changes in the land use and zoning. The developer has put together with their engineering consultants this revised layout that shows the street right-of-way and proposed lot dimensions. It has gone through the city staff review and is being recommended for approval for the changes based on the land use modifications.
Questions of Mike on item 27? Others that wish to address the council on item number 27? Not. Is there a motion to approve?
So move, Costello.
Costello moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benega.
Benega seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve item 27? Not. All in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 27 is approved 8-0. Item 28.
A resolution amending the 29 to 2013 capital program.
Gene Roanhorse, Director of Finance. This is a series of a resolution moving money around on a series of different projects. It involves health and public works. And there are representatives of the departments here if there's any questions on specific issues.
Questions of Gene on item 28? Others that wish to address the council on item 28? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
Litz moves. Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Knudsen.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present and voted. Item 28 has been approved 8-0. Item 29.
A resolution changing a regularly scheduled council meeting.
Mayor, this is just to reschedule the joint City and Minnehaha County Commission meeting to meet a deadline or not a deadline, but to accommodate their changes.
Everybody understands that. Anybody else wish to address the council on item 29? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
Litz moves. Second?
Second, Costello.
Costello, second. Further comments? All in favor of changing that date will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Knudsen.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 29 has been approved 8-0. Item 30.
A resolution correcting the heading and the legal description on Resolution 6609 for vacating a portion of South Overland Pass.
Chad Hebe with the Engineering Division of Public Works. Overland Pass is in the Split Rock Heights development. It's east of Highway 11, north of 26th Street. A portion of Overland Pass was vacated in July during a joint city-county meeting. This resolution will correct the range number in the legal description.
Questions of Chad on item number 30? Others that wish to address the council on item number 30? None. Is a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
I
Litz moves.
second that motion. Knudsen.
Knudsen seconds. Further comments? All in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Knudsen.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Benega.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present vote. Item 30 has been approved 8-0. Item 31.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of Sioux Falls, Sanford Health, and the South Dakota Junior Football Association regarding the construction of a sports complex.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Don Kearney with Parks and Rec. Before you is a resolution that would authorize the mayor to sign two agreements. One is a property donation agreement with Sanford Health and South Dakota Junior Football, and the other one is between the city and Sanford Health for street and utility improvements. The donation agreement would allow for the transfer from Sanford to the city at no cost, 44 acres of future parkland along the Big Sioux River, north of Benson Road and east of Westport. It also transfer from Sanford to the city at no cost, 13 acres of land to provide for the stormwater detention needs of several properties in this area by constructing a regional BMP on this property. The donation agreement will allow us to develop 12 athletic fields and related support facilities with the primary purpose of constructing additional football fields for the South Dakota Junior Football Program. And our goal is to get started yet this fall with construction with the ultimate goal of playing in the fall of 2012. And I just want to summarize a little bit of some of the bullet points and primary conditions included in the donation agreement. The city, one of those conditions would be that the city would name the complex Sanford Sports Complex, that the city would agree to not allow competing facilities to use the property or allow advertising that would be inappropriate, such as alcohol and tobacco, etc. Sanford would also agree to grant the city a 30-foot access easement so that we have two ways in and out of the parking lots for the complex. And then, obviously, we'd want junior football to agree to play their games there. And by August 1st of 2012, one of their responsibilities would be to install the field amenities including but not limited to sports sliding, storage buildings for their use, seating, scoreboards, and goalposts. And then the street and utility agreement would allow for the infrastructure to be installed that's necessary to serve the sports complex and the future development of the private development of the site. And the agreement outlines when the street and utilities would be installed and who is responsible financially for the improvements. And the street and utilities will be installed and paid for as follows. In the spring of 2010, the sanitary trunk sewer will be installed by the city. The cost for the city to install it will be recouped through cost recoveries. In the summer of 2010, the water main would be installed with the cost to be recouped as part of the street assessments. And in the summer of 2012, 2 streets will be installed by the city as proposed. They would be Bob Holla Drive and Benson Road. The cost for the streets would be assessed to the adjacent property owners. One of the other final considerations in light of Sanford's donations of 60 acres of property and agreeing to upfront their portion of the design, the grading, the streets, and the utilities on a timeline that's in advance of when they initially plan to develop the site so that we could have access to our site. We're suggesting that when the assessments are levied for the street improvements, that interest would not accrue on the installment payments, subject to City Council approval at that time of the assessment, which we anticipate to be in 2013 because the roads wouldn't get constructed until 2012. I'd also mention that the Parks and Recreation Board reviewed this agreement in August, and they recommend approval to the City Council. And before I close with my remarks and take questions, I just would be remiss, I guess, if I didn't recognize Sanford's contribution to make this all happen. If it had not been for Sanford, we wouldn't be working on this project, and specifically cite Nate White with their legal counsel at Sanford, who's here in the audience, along with Kurt Brose, who works on their development as well. Worked very well with us, and we appreciate their efforts. I'd also like to acknowledge Larry Leverance, the president of South Dakota Junior Football, who's also here in attendance tonight. And then also the teams of legal and planning and public works who all helped put this thing together, because it really did have a lot of cross-departmental impacts. And then obviously our staff as well, with Dave Fisher and Tori Miedema, who've worked a lot on the project as well. So with that, be glad to answer any questions or, excuse me, I guess I also need to request an amendment as well to add provision in the resolution that also allows the mayor to sign the second agreement that's included in the document.
I think everybody's got that with us, so we'll move there at the appropriate time. Are there questions of Don on item number 31? Go ahead.
Yeah, Don, junior football is to raise $1.5 million. What if $1.5 million is not raised?
Certainly our hope is that they would do that, but there is a provision in our agreement that they would be in default of their agreement with the city and Sanford. I know that they are currently out there pursuing some fundraising activities as we speak, but also could let Larry Leverance speak to their ability to, and their efforts plan to raise that money.
Before Larry speaks, they would be in default. What does that mean? What are the repercussions?
Well, obviously, one of the provisions of their agreement is that we would allow them to have priority use between June 1 and December 31st of each year for their program, and obviously that would put that priority status in jeopardy. The other thing I would mention to you, though, is that most of their improvements that they're planned to install there are above-ground improvements. We would still have fields with irrigation, with parking that would be available for play, and certainly our full expectation is that they would play their games there.
Further questions of Don on item 31?
I would just add, I know if Larry's coming up, I just happened to be at that park board meeting when they approved this, and I guess to answer Kermit's question maybe a little more directly is that, initially they'll need to paint some lines on the fields and put up some goal posts. They can get a game done. They can build into this this football field, and I don't think the city and or probably Sanford is going to press them too hard if they don't fulfill that agreement. I think all of us want to see that football field succeed. So I think really, I certainly hope they do raise the money, and it is a fair issue, but I think initially to get them playing football, they can do it after just raising a few dollars.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 31? Not?
Mayor, could I have Larry Leverins come up? I would like to ask him a question,
Okay.
please. Thank you, Larry.
Yes.
I just want to ask you a question about the strength of your league and everything. Down at Riverdale Park, can you tell us some of the items that you've raised money for to have built down there?
Coincidentally, the amenities that we've taken part in and constructed at Riverdale are very similar to the same amenities that we have agreed to do with this project. We put the lights in at Riverdale after we started playing there. We've built the concession stand, restroom, storage facility to house our equipment. We put up the goalposts. We went out and obtained the funding to put up the scoreboards and the lights. So that the things that are there at Riverdale Park, we've done them one time through, and we're committing to doing them a second time through at this new facility. We felt that this day was coming at some point in time. We just weren't sure when. So we've been in the savings mode for a number of years, and we've been obtaining funds and savings funds and doing some things we knew this day was coming. We just didn't know it was going to be, right now. We didn't know it was going to happen in 2012. When we did our registrations this spring, we had an option out there for parents, when they registered their kids to play in junior football, they had the option to make a donation at that point in time, which a number of parents did. We have a place on our website for people in the community to go to our website, sdjuniorfootball.com, click on an area that talks about this project, and there's a way that they can donate through there, whether it be using a debit card, credit card, whatever, and obviously they certainly have the option of sending a check directly to South Dakota Junior Football. We earmark the funds for this project and so on. So we've currently doing some fundraising things. We have other things planned in the future. We've been saving money in the past. We have a portion of the funds already saved. We're in the process right now of obtaining what we believe our costs are going to be. The $1.5 million that's referred to in the contract is numbers that were given to us, I believe, in 2006 when this all started. Were numbers that came through the Park and Rec Department. We believe with selling advertising, for example, the scoreboards, we put the scoreboards up with very little South Dakota junior football money. It was advertising dollars. We believe the same thing is going to happen this go around. We've been in contact with Dakota Sports, for example. They have a buying show that they go to this winter. They're going to solicit for us the best price possible on the goalposts. So we're going to be talking with the lighting companies, and we'll be dealing with them. And so we'll be actively involved in all of these things, including the bleachers, which is a small portion of the total dollar package for this. So we know what we've committed to. We're on our way to meeting that. You asked worst case scenario. We're planning on lighting. The biggest ticket item is the lights. We're planning on lighting all 8 fields that are going to be developed. If we only raise the funds or we can only light 4, then we can light 4, and we'll plan on lighting another 1 or 2 the next year and however we can come about doing that. So I think when we talk about some arrangements that we've made with the Park and Rec Department, those are some of the things that we've talked about, that if we fall short and if we can't do this all at one point in time, we can segment it out to make it work.
Thank you.
Further questions?
Yeah, Larry, how much would you say you have in the bank right now for this?
I would say we're probably a third of the way there. Now, that's without knowing what all the hard costs are going to be and all the hard prices are. That's using 2006 numbers. But, we're part of the way there, and we understand we have a way to go. But we'll get there.
True.
Larry, thanks for your hard work. I know you guys have been at this for a long time. The $1.5 million, does that include the in-kind contributions that you'll pursue? Or is it all cash?
The 1.5 is the cost estimates that we were given by the Park and Rec Department in 2006 for the 5 specific items that we've committed to doing. We've committed to doing the 5 items.
But
Getting
if
them
you
done.
get contractors or suppliers to give in-kind contributions, that counts towards your 1.5.
Correct.
That's what I'm
Yes.
clarifying.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Further questions? No, thank you for all your hard work, Larry. Appreciate it. Others that wish to address the council on item number 31? Not?
Move to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Let's move. Is there a second?
Second, Jameson.
James, okay, now we've got,
Mr. Mayor, I have an amendment.
okay.
Motion to add to the resolution title, after the word complex, the sentence, along with authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement for construction of Bob Hollow Drive and a portion of Benson Road and associated utility improvements.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Litz. So, all in favor of the motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes. That motion is passed 7 yes and 1 no. We're back to the main motion as amended. All in favor of approving? Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'm having a difficult time here voting for this resolution tonight. One of the primary reasons is because, I mean, first of all, we should probably thank Sanford a lot for doing this donation. But I think they're giving the donation to the wrong entity. I think they should give it to the South Dakota Junior Football League, not the City of Sioux Falls. And let the South Dakota Junior Football League be responsible for the field, have the ownership of the field. They can do anything they want to with it. They don't have to worry about politics or city government or anything like that. That would have been the ideal situation for Sanford, to have given it to the South Dakota Junior Football League. Having said that, of course, now the city is becoming involved in this, and we're not going to spend a little bit of money. We're going to be spending a lot of money, $4.2 million. That's a lot of money to be spending, especially during this period of time in our country's economic, with our economic woes. Also, at the same time, the ice hockey people, they want a new facility too, and they need a new facility. But my best understanding is right now they're going to try to get private money to do this. And I think that's the ideal way for them to go. And I wish that the South Dakota Junior Football League would also go the same way, getting their own funding totally and having their own private facility instead of having the city involved and instead of having the city taxpayers pay $4.2 million.
Got a motion made, seconded, and it's been amended, so we're back to the main motion as amended. All in favor of that motion, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
That motion has been approved as amended, 7 yes, 1 no. And I really do want to thank Sanford. I want to thank you, Larry, for the partnership you guys all brought together to really make this happen. It's going to be great for young people, and it is an amenity that's going to be good for Sioux Falls. So thank you all very much. We really appreciate it. Item 32.
Report of the August 28, 2009 Notice of Transfer of Appropriations within Major Organizational Units.
Item 33.
Report of the August 28, 2009 Notice of Transfer of Appropriations within Major Organizational Units.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move. Knudsen.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilors Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
I need you just to sign this top one.
I can see where I understand why